Thanks a lot, Liz. Well, as mentioned earlier, commercials are a big part of the big game this weekend. And if you're not paying attention much to the game, we know you're keeping a close eye on those commercials. Here with us now is Del Esparza, president of Esparza Advertising, to dive deeper into these commercials. Del, thank you for being with us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
So it really has become its own culture. Everyone talks about maybe the halftime show and the big game, but the big game also brings big commercials.
Oh,
we're talking big dollars invested in them, big production values. They really are like small featurettes. So tell us what makes a great commercial during the big game.
Well, it's a Super Bowl. I mean, so it's a Super Bowl of Super Bowls when it comes to commercials. And so if you're going to spend $4 million for a 30-second commercial, it has to hit the mark.
Right.
So what makes a great commercial? People need to be able to remember it. Not just remember how creative it was or how funny it was, but what was the product or the service. What happens so often is advertisers overcreate to entertain, but and they'll remember the spot, but they will not remember the product or the service. And if that's the case, then that's a missed opportunity.
Right, and that's a very expensive missed opportunity.
Very expensive.
Well, we've got one coming up here for the 2014. Let's take a look.
It's a beauteous day, a wondrous day. The flowers bloom and the animals play. The sun peeks out and I need to shout in a happy way. It's a beauteous, wondrous, simply scrumptious day.
It's go time.
It's a beauteous, wondrous, simply scrumptious day.
That's great. Well, so this one, your opinion, is this pretty effective?
You know, GoDaddy, I've never been a fan of GoDaddy commercials. I think that, it's what they do is they sell URLs. You know, really, they sell domains.
Right.
And they've used the Super Bowl as a platform, really, to build a company. This is probably the least risque commercial that they've done in a long time.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more relevant in what they do because it ends with, build your company online.
Right.
So there is some connection of what they do. It's not just sex. But, relatively speaking, for GoDaddy, this is an okay spot. For the Super Bowl, I think that they'll rank low.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, so we were talking before the show started, the fact that commercials have gone, what did you say, 10 years ago it was 1.9 million for a 30-second spot. Last year it was 3.8. Now we're talking $4 million for a 30-second spot. And you were saying a lot of these commercials are about a minute. So we're talking $8 million these companies are spending.
Absolutely. One of the trends we were talking about, one of the trends is the upwards price of these commercials, without question. These commercial prices, that's just to air on the Super Bowl. People are also spending an upwards of $5–10 million to produce the spots.
Exactly.
So this is an incredible investment. But you'll have 120 million people watching the game. As many as half are watching it just for the commercials. People are getting up to get their beer and their hot dogs and their chips, during the game because they don't want to miss the commercials.
Yeah,
so
right, exactly.
What an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got another one that we want to take a look at here. Let's see.
Billy, use the cleaner.
Oh. Touchdown.
Yeah, it only works with Doritos.
Why only Doritos?
You ask too many questions, Billy.
Oh man, it's cringeworthy goodness, very funny. Well, so with something like this, what Doritos, all these folks, what are they hoping to accomplish with these commercials? I mean, obviously they want to drive business, but you look at that in years past, you might think that's not going to sell anything.
Right.
So what are they looking to do with commercials like this?
Well, anytime you do a commercial, you need to tap into an emotion. Sometimes that emotion is fear. Sometimes that emotion is excitement, nostalgic. In this particular case, that emotion is humor and gross humor as well. So what Doritos is hoping to do is tap into a humor element, the humor bone, but also make it so gross well people will recall it and talk about it in subsequent days.
And Doritos, we talk about a lot of advertisers over the last few years. We were talking earlier about, Snickers, Mars Corporation, making very memorable campaigns, with using celebrities, not feeling yourself. Doritos has really kind of built an empire because they have people submit productions, they produce them, and then, so they are really submitting a call to action, not only to producers, but to potential clients.
Absolutely. 7 years ago, Doritos made a decision. What they were going to do is they were going to advertise to their users to come back to them with ideas. Those ideas were vetted, and some of them were selected as finalists. Four are produced by an advertising agency. An advertising agency helps them, but the ideas are submitted by users. It's really a way for them to engage people that like Doritos and have an affinity for Doritos.
Yeah.
Doritos, some of the top-ranking commercials of the past 4 or 5 years have been Doritos. So the ideas that are coming back from the users or the people that eat that like Doritos have been great.
Have been fantastic. Well, Del, thank you for your time this morning. Looking forward to the full slew of commercials this weekend. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.